Hey everyone, welcome back to another Fun Fact Friday live here at University Animal Clinic. I'm Dr. Sam, and so today I thought we'd continue our little our delve into each little breed that we started a couple weeks back. And so today I thought we'd talk a little bit about the Shih Tzu. We see quite a few of them. They're one of the most common toy breeds that we see. And yes, they are considered a toy breed for the most part due to their size. These guys are very spunky, energetic breeds. And so I thought we can go over today some of the common things that I see them for. And one of the most common things I see them for is eye issues. These guys, their eyes are so pronounced, unfortunately. There's only so much room in that little head. And so since these eyes stick out so much, they are prone to problems, whether it be infection, especially in our young Shih Tzus, because they're putting their face in everything, sniffing, smelling. They tend to get dirt and debris in these eyes and can get little infections. Corneal disease, whether that be abrasions or even ulcers, is also very common in these guys, again, because they're placing their face in places it doesn't belong, especially in a young dog. Proptosis, where the eye pops out, that can happen, although not that commonly. They genetically are prone to progressive retinal atrophy, although we don't see it as commonly as we used to, which is good. And then in our older Shih Tzus, dry eye is very common because those eyes are so pronounced, and some of them don't even blink all the way over the eye every time, that they're very prone to dryness and dry eye. But these are all treatable. Allergies is another very common problem that we see in these guys. So itchy skin, ears, especially here in Florida. I think we see the allergies a lot in general here in Florida because of the types of grass and the fact that we don't have a winter where things freeze. We have plants that bloom all year round that can affect pets' allergies. So that's commonly seen. Collapsing trachea. We see this in many small breeds, and it just has to do with the strength and thickness of their cartilage. When their cartilage is a little bit more weak, it has a tendency to collapse as their head kind of comes into their chest, and this makes this angle. It can collapse on itself a little bit, and they'll cough from this. So you may often hear them coughing from this. Some things that you can do to help reduce this as much as possible is using a harness instead of a collar. The less pressure we put on their neck, the better. Making sure they get vaccinated every year for things like influenza and bordetella. Any of these viruses that can lead to inflammation in the lungs can make collapsing trachea worse. And then patellar luxation. We talked about this a few weeks back on a Fun Fact Friday, where that little kneecap pops in and out because that divot is too shallow. This is really common in all toy small breeds, but in Shih Tzus as well. Sometimes it needs surgery to repair, but oftentimes if we keep them light, which we'll talk about that next, we can prevent them from having to have surgery in this, because most of them aren't painful from it generally. It's just uncomfortable and maybe off-putting, but not necessarily specific pain. And so that kind of is leading me into the last thing, and one of the common things I see in Shih Tzus and in all small breeds in general is obesity. We see this in many pets of all different sizes, but the smaller guys are just so easy because they're so tiny. It doesn't take much for them to become overweight. And as we've talked about in a previous Fun Fact Friday, obesity is only 20% over your normal body weight. And so if you're supposed to only weigh 8 pounds, 20% is not a large amount that you need to put on in addition to normal. And overweight is only 10%. So when we think about these guys as a whole, it doesn't take much. I have some great tear-offs that can be quite shocking when we're talking about how little amount of food can add up in these guys, and how maybe one little piece of cheese is like us eating 2 or 3 donuts in a sitting. And so if they're getting a little piece of cheese a couple of times a day, that adds up very quickly. I've had some other tear-offs that liken it to Whoppers and things, so a burger. So these calories add up in these little guys. So keeping their weight normal can be difficult, can take some work, but it's very doable, and we can help you. So get with your veterinarian. We can really help calculate how many calories you should have per day, and maybe even a specific diet that will help you guys out. So I hope you guys found this interesting. This goes out to all my little Shih Tzu lovers out there. Their little cute little squish faces. I just love them. They're so funny. But if you have questions for the next Fun Fact Friday, leave it in the comments below. Show me the pictures of your little Shih Tzus. I want to see them, please. I love them. And if you have a breed you want me to talk about next, put that in the comments below and I will do it. So I will see you guys next week, and everybody have a happy and healthy 4th of July if I don't talk to you before then. Bye.